FBI agents and employees across the country were fired, told to retire or quit over the past few days. More, we're told, are in the works.
But if they fired some people over there, that's a good thing because they were very bad. They were very corrupt people, very corrupt, and they hurt our country very badly with the weaponization.
So in this video today with breaking news, it is being reported that nearly 100 FBI agents have been fired. Yes, they've been given the boot. These are the same individuals who are part of the January 6th prosecution and the raid on Mar-a-Lago. And of course, there's more stories that we will get to in this video, but let's start with what Fox News had to say about this.
FBI agents and employees across the country were fired, told to retire or quit over the past few days. More, we're told, are in the works. It's setting up what could be a major legal battle for the president. Correspondent David Spont shows us tonight. Good evening, David.
Brett, good evening. Multiple sources tell Fox News the top levels of the FBI down to the agents who work the streets are being told, as you said, to quit, retire, or be fired. They say they're not being provided with specific reasons, just told it's time to go. One source says it could be at least 100 people and possibly more. And this is across the country, not just in Washington. Fox has told senior interim leaders at the FBI are compiling a list of agents and others involved in the two federal prosecutions involving then former President Trump, the classified documents raid on Mar-a-Lago in August 2022, and the election interference case. One source said these agents were simply following investigative leads and doing their jobs. The president denied involvement or knowledge about this purge this afternoon when asked in the Oval Office.
I wasn't involved in it. I'll have to see what is exactly going on after this is finished. But if they fired some people over there, that's a good thing because they were very bad. They were very corrupt people, very corrupt, and they hurt our country very badly with the weaponization.
Okay, let's just be honest about one thing here. This is a true reckoning, okay? We're talking about the same FBI that spied on Trump, raided his home, went through the drawers of Melania Trump, targeted his supporters, including business associates and family members. Are we truly surprised here? No, we're not. Now, I believe this is happening because the corruption needs to be exposed. In order to make sure that happens, you can't have those same people a part of that agency anymore. This is about cleaning house like yesterday. And by the way, Kash Patel isn't even the director yet, and this has taken place. So if you're going to stop the weaponization of government, you got to get the people out who were part of the weaponization of government. Now, what's so interesting about this announcement, it makes me think about this particular question that they asked Kash Patel during the confirmation hearing, which works in his favor. Listen to it for yourself.
Will you commit that you will not tolerate the firing of the FBI agents who worked with the special counsel's office on these investigations?
Senator, I appreciate the time to visit with you.
It is a yes or no answer, and it is your first test.
Senator, every FBI employee will be held to the absolute same standard, and no one will be terminated for case assignments.
And I'm not going to accept that answer, because if you can't commit that those FBI agents will be protected from political retribution, we can't accept you as FBI director.
All FBI employees will be protected against political retribution.
Those individuals deserve to be protected from Trump retribution. That was your first test. You failed it.
Okay, well, technically he did pass the test because he won't have the opportunity to fire these individuals because they've already been fired. Now, the real question is this a good thing or a bad thing? Depends on what your perspective is here, okay? Obviously, for a career FBI agent, they work under different administrations. So it doesn't matter if it's a Democrat or Republican, they are trying to just follow the law. But let's be honest here. Do you truly believe that the FBI agents who raided Mar-a-Lago and also destroyed the lives of a lot of January 6th defendants, including ones that weren't even in the building, they weren't even on the property, they weren't even in the city? I mean, I find it hard to believe that they were just following the law. Clearly, they were following orders that were politically motivated. Now, Adam Corrupt Schiff said this: tonight, Donald Trump fired dozens of prosecutors at the D.C. U.S. Attorney's Office and agents at the FBI. Another Friday night massacre as the president removes those loyal to the Constitution and installs those loyal to him. My only issue is this: I think the most powerful FBI agent or law enforcement officer is the one who knows how to say no to his or her superiors. Now, that obviously definitely puts somebody's career in jeopardy. But when you're being told to raid a former president's home over classified documents, yeah, I think I'm going to probably get out of that situation, right? Now, this photo is also going viral on social media because this is an individual in the FBI headquarters building painting over the woke terms, diversity, equity, and inclusion. And yes, there were some individuals who lost it over this. Let me show you that clip now.
Any semblance of diversity and inclusion is literally being wiped off the map. The New York Times put out a photo today of the walls of Quantico, the FBI Academy, where they're painting over the FBI's core values to include integrity, adherence to the Constitution, and diversity. A less diverse FBI is a less effective FBI. Try doing surveillance on the street in the inner city with two white guys. Try working undercover in a Middle Eastern terror organization with a white guy. It doesn't work that way. So we're becoming less and less safe very quickly.
Yeah, the only problem is people don't feel safe now. And 2, they don't trust people like you. And 3, they definitely don't trust the FBI. So at the end of the day, they're going to continue to try to cast blame on Trump. But they are the ones to blame because they put people in this position. They put the country in this position. And that's what the Democratic Party fails to understand. This is their doing. They chose to go after Trump in the way that they did. This is the fallout from that. And of course, you would think by now they would be able to admit that. Well, the answer is no, because they just held something called the DNC Forum. This is where people are trying to compete to become the next DNC chair. So, of course, we do have a clip to show you here. This question is all about what they thought contributed to Kamala Harris's election loss. And it's the same answer that you would expect for them.
So I'm going to... I have a show of hands. How many of you believe that racism and misogyny played a role in Vice President Harris's defeat? Okay. So that's good. You all passed.
Now that is just sad because in order to, I guess, be in the clique and be approved, you have to agree with that belief. And that's what's wrong with the party now. They have a set of beliefs that actually gets in the way of them being successful as a party because their beliefs actually don't align with majority of Americans. And until they come to grips with that, we will continue to document their meltdown and how out of touch they are and how much more losing they're going to experience. And the outgoing DNC chair, because again, this just shows you their current mindset, sat down for an interview and said this about Kamala Harris.
So looking ahead, should Kamala Harris run again?
Yes, she wants to.
You think she could win?
I believe she can. I mean, if I didn't believe Kamala Harris could win, I wouldn't have worked as hard as I did to help her win this last time around. You know, Donald Trump, and when you look at politics, Donald Trump and Barack Obama are just enigmas in politics. I think they do something different to the electorate every time they run that you can't counter. But then when they are not on the ballots, it's almost like you go back to the political gravity pulls people right back into it. That's part of how we won with how well we did in the midterms.
Well, no wonder he's the outgoing DNC chair. We know that Kamala Harris is not going to become the next governor of California or the next president of the United States. Now, this is something that, you know, you're going to have to show me because I don't believe it whatsoever. So that's number one. And two, I mean, he doesn't get it. We're in a populist age right now. And if you guys don't put up a populist candidate, you guys aren't going to win. And plus, you're facing bigger issues than both of those points I just made. Here's Bill O'Reilly talking about that.
But there's also one other component, Stephen A., that Biden screwed up this country so badly with his policies that are indefensible on immigration and on inflation, the two big ones.
I agree.
That the Democrats have no credibility. They have no credibility. There isn't one Democrat that we can find who objected to the open border policy. Not one. That is stunning.
Well, Bill,
so now the American people tune them out. They're not even listening to them. Look at CNN and MSNBC's ratings.
Right. I'll give you something worse, Bill. You say they have no credibility. It's worse than that. They don't have a voice. Who's the voice?
No
Who
leader.
do you care to
No
hear
leader.
from the Democratic Party? Do you realize at this particular moment in time, you can pick former presidents, you can pick senators, you can pick anybody that you want to. Chris, tell me I'm lying. Is there a single solitary voice from the Democratic Party that you care to hear from?
Well, the answer to that is nobody. And again, I told you guys, the only people that even, I guess, has a little light at the end of the tunnel would be a Senator John Fetterman. I mean, where he started and where he is today, I mean, that's a freaking transformation. I mean, he knows not to say certain things. He knows not to react in a certain way right now. And I think he's getting the picture. And by the way, he's from Pennsylvania. So I think him being there and seeing how people voted has woken him up in a sense. Now, again, we don't agree with a lot of his policies, but I'm just using him as an example. That would be the only person that is coming to my mind at this point. Now, the real outrage is actually coming from President Trump getting rid of DEI policies within the federal government, and it's been leading to takes like this on MSDNC.
The attack on DEI and diversity, equity, and inclusion goes hand in hand the dehumanizing policies attacking immigrants in the LGBTQ community, with Elon Musk and his apparent Nazi salute and his comments that we should effectively get over the Holocaust, with so much more that we've seen over the last few weeks. All of it is intended to desensitize us to this hate, to forget the lessons of history, and to allow these dehumanizing authoritarian policies to move forward effectively.
So if you notice her rhetoric, she's describing what actually happened over the past 4 years that was directed at Trump. Because they tried to dehumanize him. They dehumanized his supporters. They definitely dehumanized RFK when he endorsed Trump. They've also tried to dehumanize Tulsi Gabbard. So they have actually been the party of dehumanizing. They project their insecurities, and we're always going to cover it because I think it should be called out. Now, it's gotten so bad with this debate. They are accusing President Trump of making this entire DEI about race. He's the one that's calling black people DEI hires. And of course, they can't prove it. And so let me show you an example of this stupid argument.
Hold on. You talk. Now let me make a point. I have not heard from the Trump administration. I've listened to every one of Donald Trump's press conferences since he took office. I listened to all Pete Hegseth's press conferences and Sean Duffy's. I didn't hear any of them say that if somebody who was black, blue, red, green, short, tall, female, male, whatever, got a job, it was because of lowered standards. I didn't hear that. You're changing the goalposts.
They are saying that.
No, they didn't.
They are saying that. It is called a dog whistle. They are saying that. In 2020, it was Black Lives Matter, right? In 2022, it was CRT. In 2024, it was woke. And now in 2025, it is DEI. All of that is
you just can't give it, but you're the one making
Leland,
this about race. They're the ones making it about merit.
They're the one that's making Leland. They're the ones that are making this about race. Now I didn't know you want to do this dance with me tonight. You should have told me I would have wore different dance shoes. They are making this about race. Every time I turn around, they're talking about DEI. They're making this about race.
Why? Okay, hold on. You're the one conflating. Hold on. Let me finish.
No, I'm not.
Let me finish. Okay? You're the one who's saying DEI equals race. They're the ones who say, we don't want DEI. It doesn't matter about race. We want merit.
No, but they're turning around in a backhanded way. See, you need to come on and travel through the black community with me and have this conversation in the black community. I want to invite you to do that because most black people understand what is going on here.
Okay, so they're going to lose this argument every single time. We know they've always made it about race. President Trump, Republicans, conservatives, we all do the same thing, which is we make it about merit. Let's just focus on people who are super qualified. Stop looking at people based on the color of their skin. Stop looking at people like they're less than or victims. We know that already. But of course, again, in this whole context of the Democratic Party is still in trouble. They're out of touch. They can't seem to admit where they went wrong. This is just another great example of that. So let me get your answer in the comment section below. Do you believe Trump is right in firing almost 100 FBI agents, also firing the attorneys at the Department of Justice and the inspector generals? He believes all of these people played a role in the prosecution of January 6th defendants and the raid on Mar-a-Lago as it pertains to the classified document cases, including all the other persecution that really went unreported in regards to his friends, his family, and his business associates. So again, do you believe he is right in this decision. Of course, he denies it, but we know it's part of his administration. This is happening. Let me know what your answers are in the comment section below. Now, there's another thing that President Trump did as well, and that is expose the woke DI policies of the FAA. And yes, the media is losing their minds over it. There's so many stories that have come out of it. We also debunked some of the lies and backed up what the president was saying. So if you guys want to check out that video, more stories, all you have to do is click on that video because it's coming up right now.